Hey there, and welcome to this interview series. Today, I have a very special guest with me. Let me introduce you to Shannon T. Shannon is the CEO and co-founder of Scaling Up Simplified. She's the author of a number of books, such as Scaling Up Simplified and Hiring Method Simplified. Shannon's mission really is to empower remote CEOs worldwide with the knowledge of how to grow winning remote sub teams so that they can free up the time and focus on what matters to them. So yeah, that was just a brief introduction. Yeah, thank you so much, Shannon, for being here. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Fran. I'm really excited to be here and share this with you.
Yeah, no, I just want to understand just a bit more about you, and like the audience want to maybe get to know you a little bit better. So, are you able to share a bit about your background, what inspired you to become onto this path that you're on now, really?
Yeah, sure. So I started my first business when I was 25, and the whole aim of why I went into starting a business was because I wanted to create a lifestyle where I could have the flexibility to be remote and provide that for my team to be at the time. And I started a recruitment agency within the five-star spa sector. It was a temping agency where I supplied staff to the five-star spas around the UK. And it was all remote at that stage. And this was 2014. And when I started to hire my team, I was hiring my support team in various parts of the world. And this was way before all of the really cool technology that we have available today after COVID. It was still very frowned upon, especially in the UK. I mean, the US was, they already had started remote working quite a while ago. And yeah, my team and I were all based in various parts of the world. So I knew very well how to hire globally, how to structure it all, even without like the really cool software. And that's basically, I had that business for 8 years. I went through, as we do as entrepreneurs, I went through an experience of scaling. I received funding for scaling, and then COVID happened. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to sustain the scaling because my business shut for 2 years. So I had to make the decision, like what was the best next decision. And this is how it led me on to Scaling Up Simplified. I decided to go digital and rather teach business owners how to implement these hiring systems in their business for remote and global teams, the foundations needed in a step-by-step way on how to develop remote hiring systems in your business. So I wrote 2 books that are about Scaling Up Simplified is about setting the foundations before you actually start scaling up, and Hiring Method Simplified dives more into just about how to hire and the foundations needed in order to have a successful hiring strategy. And then I transformed all of that into an online program, also called the Hiring Method Simplified, which is also a step-by-step program teaching business owners how to develop these systems in their business, all from it, because in my opinion, the hiring is both it's hiring, onboarding, and also the systemization and processes that are needed for your team to be able to continue working without you being in your business. So after the probation period, they should have everything in place so that they can perform without you. And this is how we successfully start to scale, when you are able to remove yourself from the business in that way. So my program covers basically all 3 of those foundations, and then also global hiring, how to be tax compliant within global hiring, working with third-party companies that manage the whole process for you, and also all the demonstrations and software demonstrations needed to automate this entire process. And I provide all of that in my online program. And this was definitely a way more suited step to take. It's, everything in the end reveals itself and shows why it's happened. So although when COVID happened, it was a very scary time, it was 8 years of hard work that at the time I was like, I don't know which direction to go, but it all worked out the way it was supposed to work out. This is definitely more in line with my passion. It's a lot more scalable. I love educating people on how to create these systems and processes in their business so that they can reduce stress in their life and just, develop a really cool business where their team and themselves really love the environment that they've created. So that's pretty much my journey.
That's incredible. It's something I actually need in my business. I guess it's the concept of building a team around you and, you know, sort of stepping aside and having the team to do most of the heavy lifting for you, isn't it? You're not sort of fully, you know, doing the hands-on work. And I love that concept of how you've got that strategy, that process of sort of stepping away and, you know, working remotely. And it's just an incredible concept. And it's something I need in my business to be more efficient and working smarter. You don't have to work harder, you work smarter, as I say. I guess you probably answered a little bit, but, you know, what's unique about you? You know, what's your zone of genius? I'm guessing it's this strategy that you've implemented.
So this hiring strategy that I teach is very different to, and it's also very different to what recruitment agencies actually do. So throughout the years of running my business, of course, loads of lessons were learned, and it was trial and error at first, and how to hire great people for both my clients and my team. I also, you know, I was coached by some of the world's leading coaches around the world. And together with all of the strategies that I'd learned and I'd been coached on, I had put together this system basically. And the system that I teach is not about reading a CV or reading a cover letter or anything like that. You know, the CV is literally like the sixth step in the hiring system that I teach. I don't read CVs of candidates unless they have followed a very specific call to action that I have given them to follow. And this is how we filter out people that don't follow instructions, that aren't willing to show dedication, that aren't willing to go the extra mile before they even work for your company. And this is all based around your company culture. So it's really about defining your company culture and using that as the foundation for everything in your business, and using that, you know, the company culture along with your long-term mission and where you actually intend on going in your business. And you hire people that fit into that rather than just skills, because skills can be taught, but attitude, positivity, dedication, those are things that can't be taught. And your company culture cannot be taught. You either fit into what your vision is or you don't. So like, to put for an example, our company culture is all about remote living, traveling, adventure, hiking, fitness, and anyone that is uncomfortable with living that way or traveling wouldn't necessarily fit into the dynamic that we're creating in our business.
So yeah, thank you. I'm really, really grateful.
Thank you for meeting with me and giving me the time to chat with you. I'm also really grateful.